there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crafty Kathy, and I'm the owner and creator of Kids Vintage Farmhouse in beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I am so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. We're going to do some vintage inspired Christmas DIYs today. I just wanted to switch up directions for just a minute and do something a little different. I can't wait till you see these, so let's jump on in. My friend Lori over at Milton's Daughter sent me the brand new holiday edition of the IOD Transfer Books, and that's what we're going to be using today to do our DIYs. But I couldn't start the DIYs without showing you what's in the books. These are the prettiest holiday edition books from the IOD sisters that I've seen. This one, called Holly Glen, is probably my personal favorite. It has all kinds of sweet little woodland critters in it, and the pictures are just so beautiful and so detailed. We'll go through and look through the whole book, but we start off with pictures that are about a 5 by 7 in size. There's 8 pages in this book, and it's a 8 by 12 in size. I would say that these are probably about a 3.5 by 5, and there's 9 pictures on this page of all these critters. Like I said, the detail in these books is unmatched, and I absolutely love the book page behind the critters. It makes it look very vintage and I just think these are gorgeous. I absolutely love the little fox on this one. Now, he reminds me of a fall scene, and several of these could go with either fall or you could go with Christmas on these. Some of them, like the bear there, do have holly underneath them, and so that makes me think of Christmas. But when you look like at the fox here and you see the mushrooms beside him and just he's laying in his little den, it just reminds me of fall. And then you've got a big picture in the very back of this gorgeous stag, and he's definitely Christmas. And then there's a smaller picture of him with the red bird, and the red bird always makes me think of Christmas. And then the beautiful bunny. And that one is Holly Glen. Now, this next one is my other personal favorite. It's called Candy Cane Cottage, and there's also 8 sheets that are 8 by 12. You start off with these beautiful florals that would be, to me, looks like a border for something, and then you have 8 of a smaller bouquet of flowers. And here's my favorite, the vintage Santa Claus. And these sheets are 8 by 12, so he is 12 inches long. He's a foot tall. Then you've got your old vintage car and the beautiful little candy canes. And here's my favorite, the little Santa on the top, the square Santa. He's my favorite. And then you've got the old truck, the Christmas tree, and the jolly Saint Nick over there on the right side. But that one on the other opposite side is my favorite. Then you've got some beautiful outlines and holly bushes, another vintage Santa, and a smaller Christmas tree. You've got your old-fashioned hot cocoa sign, which would be perfect on a tray or something, and then Grandma Kringle's traditional candy canes. Now, those 2 books for me fight over the first place in my heart, but I love both of them. The last one is called Fairy Merry Christmas. And if you're not a fairy person, it does have a lot of Christmas trees and wreaths in it also. I'm not really a fairy person myself, but I do like this book. There's 8 pages in this one also, and it's also an 8 by 12. You see you have 4 pages or 4 pictures that are like 5 by 7 in size, and they're all fairies. They have that beautiful vintage looking page behind them. Then you've got a big wreath here, which is gorgeous. And then you've got 2 smaller wreaths. And if I had to guess, I would say these wreaths are about maybe 5 inches long. Then you've got a page that has 9 fairies on it. And these are the sizes that are probably about a 3.5 by 5, if I had to guess. And they're all cute. Like I said, I'm not into fairies, but I do like these. And in the middle here, you have some beautiful Christmas trees that are not in any of the other books. So that's why I do like this book. And then here's a page that's got the fairies with the holly. And I absolutely love holly and redbirds for my Christmas decoration. If you're interested in getting any of these transfer books, go over to www.miltonsdaughter.com and Miss Lori will hook you up. And I also put her information in the description box and comments below. We're going to start off with this wooden frame that I found at the thrift store. I liked it because it was something a little different. And anytime I'm in the thrift store and I see a frame that has some type of just something different about it, I grab it. And you see, I only paid $2 for this. And today we are going to be working out of the Candy Cane Cottage book. That's one of my favorites. It's got all the Santas in it, and that's where we're going to start. And I believe for this frame, we're going to use this vintage Santa that's on the right-hand side here. He's going to fit in that frame perfectly. And I'm going to take this Christmas cardstock paper that I got. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby a few years ago. But you see it's got all this beautiful cardstock in it. And I do want to put him on a piece of cardstock. And when I'm working with transfers, I usually try to get a lighter color background. So I picked this one that just says like Merry Christmas, Deck the Halls, because it had like a cream color background. And I'm just measuring out the size of that I need to cut down. If you've never worked with the transfer before, they're extremely easy. You just cut the one off that you want, and we want this vintage Santa. He reminds me of the 80s Santa for some reason. You just peel that white backing off, lay your transfer down where you want it, and then I just kind of use my fingers to make sure we've got a good adhesion there. And then with every one of these IOD transfer books, they send you this little tool that you use to just kind of rub with, and it will rub your transfer off on any surface that you're wanting to put it on. And then I just use the little plastic piece that it came off of. You rub it over the top, and that's called burnishing it. And it's just basically making sure that you've got a good adhesion there. And then I'm going to pop him back in. But before I do that, I'm taking some of my Dixie Belle Voodoo Gel Stain. And it's just a stain that's about the same color as the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm just going to put some of this on my frame and use a baby wipe to rub it in. Then when I get finished with the whole frame, I set it to the side so it can dry. And when it was completely dry, I just used some double-sided tape just to make it easy, and that way it's not permanent. And I stuck it to the backing, and then I popped it back in the frame. And I hope you like this first one. I think it's sweet and very cute.
Then you know it's Christmas when the snow starts to fall. Then you know it's Christmas for the children above all. Then you know it's Christmas 'cause Santa's on his way.
DIY number 2 is very quick and easy and simple. We're just going to take a couple of different sized small cutting boards that I have. I got these last Christmas, or it was around maybe November, and I got these at Aldi's, and they were only like $4 for I think 4 of them. There was 2 of these larger size and then 2 of the smaller size, and you could either get square or you could get oval. But anyways, you see I've painted these before. I'm just going back with my DIY color called beadboard, and I'm just going to paint these 2 white ones. The one that's brown, I'm going to leave it the color that it is because I think it's going to look excellent with the transfer that I picked. I decided on that small brown one to use my most favorite transfer in this whole book, and it's this small square size Santa. He goes perfect on this little cutting board. And I'm doing the exact same thing with the transfer that I did with the first one. You just cut it or cut the transfer that you want, peel off that white backing and lay it down, and then you use that little tool that they give you to rub over the top of it, and it just very easily sticks to your surface. I wanted this one to have something a little bit different or special, so I'm just using my Arteza marker, and I'm just going to go around the outline of the picture here with this beautiful white. I just thought that it would kind of brighten it up and kind of make it stick out a little bit. Then the next one is going to be one of these larger white ones. I'm going to place the old-timey truck that's in the snow, and every time I see that truck, I'm reminded of my Uncle Big Doug because he had a truck just like this one, except for it was like rusty and red, and we would all jump in the back of it. I was like the littlest one of all the cousins, or the youngest one, I should say. And we would all jump in the back of it and stuff, and it was just good times and good memories. So I don't know, the little red truck is kind of special to me in that way. I think a lot of us have those memories, of the old trucks and growing up and just jumping in the back before you had to worry about all the rules and regulations of you can't ride in the back of a truck and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and so the next one is just one of these white ones, and I'm putting the Christmas tree on it. And that's all there is to this second DIY. On the third DIY, I'm going to do one of my most favorite things to do with my transfers, and that's put them on candles. I have these three battery operated candles that I got from Walmart, and they came in the pack of three. And then this larger cream colored one I got at a thrift store. Now I'm going to go through my book here at the Candy Cane Cottage, and I want three that kind of go together that I can place on these three candles. I ended up choosing this vintage Santa Claus head. I thought he would be perfect. And then this to me looks like a Christmas tree with some presents in front of it. And then I cut out the candy canes because I thought these three things are just synonymous with Christmas, and I thought it would look really good. Now, when you are working on a curved surface like this and you're putting a transfer on it, it is a little bit more difficult, but it's not hard. You just have to hold on with your fingers. But I do have to mention, I totally forgot about this until I got started, but these candles are a waxy feel. Now, not all the battery operated candles are waxy feeling. Some of them, like the one that I got from the thrift store, this larger cream color, have more like a matte finish, and those are so much better to put your transfers on. Now, I made it work, and I did get this Santa Claus on that white waxier candle there, but it did take a little bit of work to get him on there. It's just the transfer doesn't want to stick to something that's waxy. But if you put it on something that's matte, it'll stick all day long. I want to show you how much easier this candy cane went onto this ivory colored one. And so it kind of made me switch gears because I was going to do the three white ones and have a set, but instead, after the first one being the waxy feel, I decided just to do this matte with the candy cane and just leave it at that. It just came off so much easier, and to be honest, I actually like the one with the candy cane a lot better.
Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey. Yeah. The snowman's dusting off his.
The fourth DIY is going to be another one that's very easy and quick. I've got one of these wood panels that came from the Dollar Tree in their $5 section, but they're only $3. And I love to use these as pictures because they already are framed out and they're so easy. I use my DIY paint in the color called beadboard, and I'm just going to go around the edges with my Dixie Belle Voodoo stain. I literally just poured a little bit on and then I go around real quick with the brush. And then I use the baby wipe to kind of knock down the intensity a little bit. And while it was still wet, I used that little bit of white beadboard that's still in my brush and just kind of brushed it around. I just kind of like that look. It's kind of distressed look. We're going to use the Grandma Kringle's traditional candy cane sign on this one. And I made sure that the white portion that I had painted was already dry because your transfer is not going to stick if your paint is still wet. So just make sure that that's dry. I did like I did with all the other transfers. I used that little tool that they send me and I just rub back and forth until the transfer comes off. Then once I get the whole transfer off, I'm going to use that plastic backing that it just came off of, and I'm just going to kind of rub around the top and burnish it. I'm going to add just a little bit of Mod Podge in different spots and kind of all over my picture because I want to use my favorite glitter. It's a very fine glitter and it's called Sue Lynn. I get it at Walmart. And then I'm just going to add this little Christmas pick right up the side. And just as I was sticking that little pick on there, then I realized, hey, I need to cut off that bottom portion because it's got like a little um, clip on the bottom where you can clip it to something. So I pulled it back off and clipped that little bottom portion off and fluffed the bow up. And I just so happened to have these cute little vintage Santas that I got at Hobby Lobby last year. It's just on a piece of cardstock. And I added a little bit of the glitter to the top of him also, just to give him a little bit of pizzazz. And then I cut the ribbon in an angle. And that's all there was to this one.
Feeling alone, kinda misty, waiting now for you to come. It's cold again, but I know we'll be warm, sitting by the fire.
Now we're down to DIY number 5. This is our last one. It's very simple. I got these plastic ornaments off of Amazon the other day. I believe there's 10 in there. It's the round ball type ornaments that will pop open and you can put stuff in there. I got the idea to just use the little bit of the color beadboard that was on my brush and just kind of sloppily put it on the back. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just wanted a white background. Then I'm going to take a piece of this cardstock that came out of that Christmas book from before, and I just traced it to the size that I needed, and I cut it out, and we're actually going to place our transfer on this piece of cardstock. I just laid the transfer down, and I had kind of cut it out into the shape that I needed, and I'm just going to use that tool that they send to get the transfer off onto the cardstock. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's going to fit back into my ornament, and it did. So then I decided to take some of my fake snow that I love to use at Christmas and some of my extra fine glitter and put it inside the Christmas ornament. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the Mod Podge and put it on that little piece of plastic, and I'm going to go all around my little picture of Santa with the Mod Podge and use my extra fine glitter. I absolutely love this glitter. You can get it off of Amazon too. It's in my Amazon store in case you want to try some out. And then I just made sure that my little snowflakes were in front of my picture of Santa and clicked it back on. And it turned out so cute. I hope you like this one. Hey, if you stuck with me through this whole video, I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I want to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button and become a part of our family, because we would love to have you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up, because it really helps me out on YouTube. It helps them to push my videos out there to people who've never seen me before. And I do greatly appreciate every time you do that for me. Also, don't forget, I have a new video time, which is every Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I sure do hope to see you in the next, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And if you did enjoy this video, I have another one right here that I would love for you to watch. All you have to do is click on the picture of that video and it will take you right there when this one's finished. I love you guys. God bless you and your families.